Taking a chance to learn what's in my head and reel out the thoughts that fill me with dread. You die for me when I won't even cry for you. Oh, please, Lord, tell me what must I do? Taking out a page each day from the letter you wrote to me. A book of lies that I despise, filled with your animosity. Take me back to a time we met on that bank holiday. We made it right from the first night till you threw it all away. Would you dance to make my grave when I'm gone? Or see me for that man that I've become? Would I see that you care when I'm in need of you the most? But you don't care. You're not there anymore. Confusion is a gift that forever falls my own way. I'll never be so proud of that man I am today. Take me back to a time of once happy days. Still you seem to forever haunt me with your condescending ways. Now it's time to do things right and get you out of my head and reel out the thoughts that fill me with dread. Would you dance to make my grave when I'm gone? Or see me for that man that I've become? But would I see that you care when I'm in need of you the most? But you don't care. You're not there anymore. And the pain you've caused fell from afar, and the message that you portrayed, it caused me too much sorrow and pain. But I won't fall for that anymore. Would you dance to make my grave when I'm gone? Or see me for that man that I've become? Would I see that you care when I'm needing you the most? But you don't care. You're not there anymore.
Good evening, people. Welcome to the channel, Not in My Lifetime. Got Martin with me tonight. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, over the moon.
Yeah, it was unexpected result, I think. Juventus have looked pretty good throughout the tournament. You know, first game, I think they won 5-0, was it? second game, I can't remember what they did, but they've looked pretty decent. It's our first win against them in 46 years, something like that.
A while.
Which is a bit crazy, really. But yeah, so I'll just start off with when it loads. Who have we got tonight? We've got Darsh. Nice to see you, mate. Mark, Jack. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do, because it really helps the channel. DC, nice to have you, mate. Amar, nice to have you. Kieran as well. And Lee. Evening, mate. How's it going? Yeah. So I'll start off with the team sheet. The team sheet come out, and I think the most noticeable one was Rodri getting his first start. Nice to see Rodri starting a game for the first time in about 9 months, something like that. How do you think he did?
I thought he did very well. I still think he can go up 4 or 5 levels.
Yeah. It's not the Rodri at all.
I said I'm very happy with it. I mean, Pep's already said the plan was 45 minutes, but he wanted to carry on for the extra 15, 20. So big up to him. Like I said, I wouldn't say for me there wasn't any poor performances individually. I would say there was a lack of movement in the first half, but I put that down to the weather at the beginning. I think they were knackered and the heat was affecting them. But I think that little downpour seemed to make the pitch a bit slicker or cool it down a bit, and it got them going again in the second half, I think.
It
seemed a bit lackadaisical in that first half. But I wouldn't say it was a City thing. I'd say the whole game was, because I thought Juventus were crap in the first half. Thought the game had a pre-season friendly to it in that first 45 minutes.
Yeah, the first half, especially sort of the first 20, 25 minutes, there was a lot of like sort of sloppy passing. We'll come on to it in a bit, but it's a lot of sloppy passing. I think you're right. I think the way that the players looked, they looked like the heat was sort of sucking all the life out of them. But so we'll come on to the first goal. So Doku, great little goal, to be fair to him. I think he scored in his last 2-3 games now. He got a goal against Wales for Belgium. I'm pretty sure he scored in the last game as well. Looks to have a bit of form.
Yeah, I thought he was man of the match today, Doku. Thought he was exceptional. He was doing things he wasn't doing last season. He was driving the ball. But the one thing I liked was, because I was concerned about the ignoring Doku thing, but what he didn't do, he didn't stick Doku out wide. He literally let him come inside, which I think Doku struggled with. But I think today it was Aït-Nouri holding the width, and Doku was sort of coming inside and was a bit more inverted, which I actually thought he did very well at. I thought he was very good at doing that.
Because one minute he looked like he was sort of running that left-hand side.
Then he was on the right. Then he was in the middle. Yeah.
In the right. It was almost like he had a bit of a free roll to kind of just go.
I think we all did. I think him, Mamouche, Sabine, I think that whole front three was just rotate around, lads. And I think, this is my thing, I don't think Mamouche is a number 9. I don't think he is a direct number 9. I think he's a second striker or a guy who plays a little just off the striker. I think Omar Mamouche, and for me, because he didn't play number 9 for his team in Germany. A lot of his goals were coming off the wing and was coming inside.
Yeah.
He wasn't. I think people have got this misconception on Mamouche that he's this number 9 strike. He's not.
Yeah.
He's very much a bit like Alvarez. for me.
Yeah, he's a bit of an everywhere player, isn't he?
Yeah, because I didn't think Alvarez was a straight 9. I know he did it for Argentina. A lot of people were doing it for Atletico, but I wouldn't say he was a direct 9. I think he's someone who can float. But and the thing is, we've got options all over the gaff now, which is a good thing. And I know people were a bit upset about certain players not getting on the pitch, but the thing is, let's go back 12 months. We were all complaining about a bigger squad.
Yeah.
This is the bad thing of a big squad now, is that some players will struggle to get on the pitch now.
I don't think it's a bad thing though, because I've looked at the games, the last 2 games, and we've almost started with 2 separate 11s.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's a bad thing for Pep and the players. I think it might be a bad thing for Player FC fans.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's where it's some of the fans who are Player FC, and you know the ones I mean, and you know the people I mean. There are City fans, old, new, local, abroad, who are, they love a player, and I get it. And I don't think it's City. I think that's just football in general now. I think football in 2025 is, they support a player a lot, and that's fine. But today I've already seen it. People are having to go, "Why is Nico G finished?" No, just he'll get on the next game. Just relax.
Yeah. Just coming to a couple more of these chats. So big up, Luke. Hope you're enjoying your holiday, mate. Nice to see you in the chat. See, Darsh knows the score. Don't worry, I've got it covered. So what we go in 1-0 up. We're looking good. I think to be fair, for the majority of it, we had good control. I think we were looking quite solid. And then Edison decides to pull the most Edison thing that he could do. And decided to pass the ball straight to their striker.
Well, apparently you all wanted the goal. You got to say so. I just didn't realise he did it for both teams now. Listen, it is what it is. I'm not gonna change. To me, I'm not. We win, we lose in this competition. And for me, this competition is about getting a new formation and get us playing better and getting our fitness up. And that's what I'm loving. Listen, mistakes are going to happen in football. I'd rather the mistakes happen now. Let's get the mistakes out now than against Wolves. Let's get the mistakes out now. And I'd rather, believe it or not, I've seen some people blame Bernardo for that. I'm like, how is Bernardo even at fault for that?
Didn't even get the ball.
Teleport himself to a different position on the pitch. And bless his cotton socks, he tried his damn hardest to get there as well. But it was poor from Edison, but I thought he redeemed himself great with that 1-on-1 and other things. He was involved in the build up for a couple of goals. And the thing is, do you know my biggest thing of this? What I want from this tournament? I want to see the play change. I want to see him playing with a smile. I saw something today I did not see all last season. I saw a whole coaching staff embracing, hugging. And that's telling me, when I'm seeing Pep Linders, Colo Torre, James French, and Pep Guardiola hugging each other, that is telling me, right, we've now got a unity going. What's happening on the what they're doing on that training ground, they are now taking into games.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not bothered about big name sign. All this big name signings. You can have all the big name signings you want. Teams that win the league and win trophies win it by teamwork and everything else. That's how you win it.
You look at Real Madrid. They got Vinny Jr. They're buying Mbappe.
PSG did it. PSG did try to do the Galactico model. Never worked.
Yeah, it doesn't work when you've got a team full of too many egos and too many players that are for themselves.
And the good thing about this big squad is they know if I drop a clanger, I'm out. I can't drop no clangers anymore.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm seeing a different Bernardo Silva. I'm seeing a different Gundogan. I'm even seeing the Unks suddenly go back to where they were 3 years ago. And I'm like, well, my God, here we go. All these so-called finished plays.
Pep's not only just bought new coaching staff, he's also bought a time machine. Because I tell you, it looks like they've gone back 5 years.
Pep today was smiling more than I've seen him smile in 18 months.
Yeah.
The guy was just buzzing. And I don't even think it's about, like I said, I'm not bothered about, we win the trophy, great, so be it. But what I'm after is continuity. I'm after a team ethic. And I'm after seeing us play with a bit more zip and a bit more vibe. And that's what I'm seeing in 3 games. And by the way, we're scoring goals from everywhere now. Everyone is now scoring now.
I'll tell you something. We'll come on to it in a bit, but Savinho, I was not familiar with your game. I wasn't
familiar with Doku or Savinho today. I thought, Jesus, right, the real Doku and Savinho arrived now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I've said it, I'm sorry for me rant here, Bebo, but last season has really played on everyone's head. And what it is everyone's gone, oh, right, there's shit. It's like today, Akanji dropped a couple of missed passes. But other than that, I thought Akanji did well.
I can't lie, though. Last season played on my head as well, because we were 5-1 up. As soon as they get the second, I'm thinking, oh, no, it's Fenerbahce.
But here's the thing, there's a difference. Last season, when you're 5-1 up and 3-0 up, you're bringing on the academy to see a game out. We ain't doing that anymore. We're bringing on Ryan Cherky. And you're going, well, this is different, because I don't care what anyone says. No one has got the squad depth we've got right now. That bench today gets in most teams.
Yeah.
I'm like, right? I can't even. Kushinoff didn't get on. John Stones didn't get on. John Stones hasn't touched grass yet.
No.
Gavardio, Echeverria. It sounds. Do you know what? It's a bit.
Echeverria's out for the rest of the tournament, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's a bit wrong, really. What we're doing right now. It's a bit wrong. Because Victor, these are the players who did not get on that pitch today, Bebo. Nathan Aka, Oscar Bob, Nico Gonzalez, Josko Gabardio, Kushinoff, Ortega, John Stones, Victor Hayes. That's taking the piss. They didn't even get a minute. £80 million, we've got £140 million centre backs just sat there twiddling thumbs, playing backgammon. Do you know what I mean? That we never had that last season. We had, with all due respect, we had Jamal Simpson-Puzzi sat there going, "Please, sir,
please get me off."
You know what I mean? With all due respect to James McAtee coming on. No, now you got a Phil Foden coming on, and then the next game, Phil Foden can play, and then somebody else can come off. No, I'm sorry, even Liverpool can sign 2 fullbacks and Florian Wirtz all they want. They've not got the squad depth we've got off that bench.
Yeah. I don't think any team in world.
I'm not going to get carried away either, because I know I'm all happy clappy now, but like I said, I'm seeing a pattern. I'm seeing a phase of play. I'm seeing us embrace each other. We're smiling when we're scoring goals. We're celebrating. Celebrating the goals is different now.
Yeah.
Last season hurt them. Them.
And you know what? Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because I think a lot of the players last season didn't do themselves any justice. They certainly didn't help Pep out in any way. But I heard something midweek, and I think this has a lot to play with it as well. But for the first time under since being with Pep, none of the back coaching staff spoke to any of the players last season.
No.
So I think there was a little bit of confusion from everyone. Like, all of what Pep wanted to do, none of it was being relayed back to the players. So the players looked lost. Now,
No, they were basically con people last season.
yeah, I feel like last season the backroom staff just gave up.
Well, me and you could have done what that backroom staff did last season.
Oh
Me
yeah,
and you
definitely.
could have done it. And this is why, in a way, this is going to sound really awkward here, but I'm telling you now, for me, last season was a blessing in disguise in the long run.
Yeah.
We needed, as a fan base, as a club, as a chairman, as a board, as a management staff, we all needed to kick up the arse and a bring back to reality moment.
We needed to cleanse. We needed
But
to
we
cleanse.
needed to take a step back to go forward. Now, and I said this, the last time we had a season like that, we dropped the 100 points. I'm not saying we are, because I never judge a season till October time, till I've seen how everyone is, seen how the window moves, etc. But right now, I'm no excited for that, for the first game. Yeah, of course I want us to go far in this. We win it, we don't. What I want is, are we ready for Wolves? That's all I care about now. Are we ready for Wolves? And I know you and others want the gold badge, and I know that'd be nice and it's great. But I know, I get it. And I know it'd give you that buzz going into the season. But I want us to go in, and I've seen it already across social media. Liverpool and Arsenal fans are shitting themselves already. They're sat there going, yeah, this isn't what we didn't think this was happening. Because Pep's finished, remember? Pep's done.
Do you know what as well? So not only tonight was it a convincing win, and I think it's something that the players needed, because that's only going to improve confidence. You know, game on game, continuing to play like this. We're also now on the right side of the draw. You know, now it looks like we don't have Real Madrid on our side. We don't have Bayern on our side. We don't have PSG on our side. And it's a much easier route to the final. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that we want an easier route to the final, but if we can get on the right side of the draws, where we don't have to play Real Madrid and we don't have to play Bayern and we don't have to play PSG, then I'm all for that. You know, I am, because finals, one-off games, anyone can win. You know, it looks like we're going to be playing.
Who we got on our side?
So it looks like the next game's Al Hilal or Salzburg.
Could we play? Who's that team where Dominic Torrent's at? What the frig are they called?
If we get Al Hilal, it's a Cancelo reunion, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but what's that team called? Monterrey. Who Dominic Torrent?
Monterrey.
You know, could you imagine a Torrent Pep game? That'd be fun. That'd be a fun game. A Dominic Torrent, pupil and student going at it 1v1. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun game, especially when they're scoring goals for fun at the minute. But no, I mean, I think we'll end up with Real Madrid. I do. I'm going to be honest. I think Real Madrid will finish runners up in this group. You know.
Do you think?
Yeah. I've just got a real sneaky one that I think. Yeah. Because
I hope they don't. I can't be doing with playing Real Madrid again, mate.
I think we slapped them. I think we slapped them.
I do as well, but I think
Madrid are experimenting at the minute with Alonso and new players. I think he's sort of bedding in.
I think the whole purpose of this tournament for me is to see us play teams that we wouldn't necessarily see us play against. You know, playing like against teams like Al Hilal and playing against teams like Monterrey. If we go and play Real Madrid again, it's like the fucking 6th time in the last 3 seasons that we played them. Like what? It's not special. Like I want to see us play a team that we wouldn't necessarily get to see.
Oh no, Real Madrid have got a win tonight, haven't they? So I was checking now because Al Hilal have got 2. They're playing Pachuca, and Real Madrid are beating Red Bull. Real Madrid might end up going out, you know.
Do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, looking at that, we're probably going to with Al Hilal, and then we're either going to have Fluminense, Dortmund, or who was the other one? There was another one as well. Yeah, Fluminense or Chelsea, or Dortmund and Fluminense. We're going to end up Flamengo and Chelsea and Dortmund and Fluminense. It looks like. Oh no, is it Inter Milan? I don't know. I know we'll have probably Al Hilal next. Looking at that, I know Dortmund and Fluminense are on our side.
Yeah, but to be honest, out of those two, I'd rather play Dortmund than Fluminense.
Yes,
I don't think Dortmund have been great at all.
Well, we did slap Fluminense 2 years ago. Was it Fluminense we slapped 2 years ago? Were they one of the two?
I think we played Fluminense in the final.
Yeah, the one we beat 4-0, wasn't it? 4-1 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, listen, you got to face whoever you face. Yeah, it helps with avoiding Bayern and PSG. I get that, but I'm one of them. You got to face them at some point. If you want to win it, if you definitely want to win it, you're gonna have to face them, whether it's the semi or the final.
Yeah.
I'm just over the moon that the way we're playing right now. It's the attitude change that I'm loving now.
Yeah, and not just on the pitch as well, but I mean, we'll come to it in a bit with the new signings, but you're looking at the team off the pitch. They're putting up City are putting up videos of everything at the moment. Like it was only the other day that they were playing beach volleyball and doing yoga on the beach.
That's what I mean. And Pep's smiling, they're laughing.
Pep's having a laugh and playing two-touch with some of the players. It's just looking like the togetherness is back again, which last season there was no togetherness. You could see that. And it almost... Last season for me kind of felt like we lost our identity a little bit. But you look at us now and, even Phil Foden. Phil Foden came on. He looked fantastic. He looks like a totally different player to what he was 2 months ago. Totally different. I just think we're looking really good. And, the beautiful thing about it is what you said before about the competition for places. Phil Foden doesn't play very well. Fine, bring him off, put Cherky on. If Reinders is a little bit tired, okay, take him off, bring Nico Gonzalez on.
By the way, I'm going to say what I said. He's going to be the sign of the summer.
He is some player in. I tell you something, all of the signings that we've made so far this season, Cherky, I mean, yeah, it's still early days. He definitely looks like, the one that sort of needs a little bit more time out of the three. I think Aït-Nouri's settled in like you wouldn't believe. You look at Aït-Nouri and the way that he's playing, it's like he was ready-made for a Pep system. He's been chucked in at left back, and he's floating up the wing. He's inverting when he wants to invert.
He doesn't even need to defend, Bebo, which is a good thing because we've now, again, I saw it today because everyone's got this myth last season that high line suddenly just appeared last season. And everyone was like, oh, we're suddenly playing a high line. No, we played a high line for many, many years. It was just ignored because it was more noticeable because you didn't have Rodri there. Because you didn't have Rodri there, it's a noticeable more back line, and you're playing midfielders at fullbacks on both sides. Now the thing is with Aït-Nouri is he can go and do his job because he's got actual defenders behind him who want to just defend. And you've got Rodri mopping up any problems. And if it ain't Rodri, it's Reinders. If it ain't Rodri, it's going to be Nico G. And that's what I mean. There's not the drop off from player to player is not that massive anymore. We don't have to look at the kids anymore and go, oh, right, what do we do now? Are we unsure? And it's just, I mean, I get it. And I know people have said we've conceded goals. I get it, we've conceded goals. But like I said, I'm not going to, I'd rather do mistakes now and make errors now. I'm more worried, Bebo, if we're making those errors against Wolves in a month and a half. It's still June. The players have got to go on holiday yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're not even been on holiday yet. They're going to go and have an holiday when this is done.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
That's why I think I'm not getting too excited too much about this competition. If we were doing this competition straight to the Premier League, the momentum. Trouble is, we're going to do this competition. We may win it. They'll all piss off around the world for a week or two because they've got to under FIFA and UEFA laws. They've got to have so many weekdays and weeks off. And then they'll come back. They'll probably maybe squeeze in a game or two at the CFA, or we'll play at Bury or whatever. We may even get a quick one in Europe somewhere for a couple of days, and then we're on to Wolves.
Yeah, it's I think the players. I think it's good that we have a big squad because the amount of strain that's put on players' bodies these days is ridiculous. You look at last season alone. I don't remember, not just from City, but from other teams as well. I don't remember a season where there was that many players injured all at once. You know, you looked at Arsenal's team. You know, they had 5 or 6 missing. You know, you look at our team, we had 7 or 8 missing at one point. You know, at one point, we were having to put Jamal Simpson-Pusey in at centre-back because he was the only defender that could walk.
Yeah, and the thing is, you've seen it at the Club World Cup as well, like today, even, you know, Nicolas Sabona got a nasty one. I mean, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see his bloody ankle? His ankle went one way, body went another way.
It was a bit of a weird one because, like, he ran straight into the back of Haaland. Haaland didn't move, and the next minute he was down on the floor screaming.
See, this is the real, like I said, and I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm over the moon about today and everything else, but that wasn't Juventus' first team as well.
No, it wasn't, but they did bring players on.
Yeah. I'm finding this hard to judge at the minute which way to go. Of was we brilliant? Probably, yeah. Were you? But that Juventus. This is why I'm not bothered if it's Real Madrid, Bebo, because I know we play Real Madrid in 3 days. That's not the same Real Madrid we're going to get in 4 months' time if we play them.
No, it's not.
It's going to be and that's what, you know, these people get carried away and they'll go, oh, every time we play Juventus now, everyone will go back to this.
Yeah.
But it's a different Juventus. And it'll be a different Real Madrid, etc.
We're the only team in the competition that's won all 3 games.
Yeah. And we've rotated the team every single time.
Yeah, like you look at the first game that we played against Wydad. You look at that, and then you look at the change from that starting 11 to the game against Al Hilal, or Al, however you say it.
Align.
Yeah, them. It was, we'd gone with 111, and then we literally changed to 11 new players. And there were still players, like you said before, there were still players that still haven't touched grass since. Yep. So we played the starting 11 against Wydad. We played a completely different, separate 11 against Al Hilal, or whatever you want to call him. And there's still, after 2 games and playing 22 different players with subs, we still haven't seen John Stones.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I mean. It's like when people say, do you want to buy new players? Other than a right back, I think we need much else.
No. And
I just think we're being greedy now if we're going to start buying other players in. Jesus.
I mean, I do fancy a bit of Rodrigo, you know. I think him in our team.
don't think he gets in.
Do you not?
No.
Oh,
Who you dropping for him?
To be honest, mate, I'd drop anyone for him. I really would.
You know, I mean, I get it. Rodrigo's a nice player, but he's not a big G&A merchant. He's a nice player, but he's not a 30 goals GA guy a season.
Yeah.
He's not that player. I think people are I'll be honest with you, and maybe it's me. I think Rodrigo's name is more sexy than the idea of the player. Does the player fit? That's what it is to me.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it, and I think you are right. It's a first world problem. Like, you know, bringing in Rodrigo.
Yeah, it's rich man's problems doing that. Oh well, let's get 400 grand a week and 90 odd £1 million transfer fee. Do we need that? That's what I'm like.
No, we don't.
By the way, you are gonna you will have to sell a Doku or Tabio to get him in.
Well, yeah, as it stands, we can't sign any more more overseas players until we've either sold some overseas players or brought in homegrowns. So, yeah, we're in a bit of a tricky position at the moment where we've got this huge squad, which, to be honest, I don't think any of the players actually want to leave. You look at Ederson today, when he did his interview with Sky Sports. He said, "No, my head's very much in City. I'm going nowhere." Well, that's all well and good saying that, mate, but you need to sign yourself a new contract if that's the case.
Yeah.
In
fact, I mean, I got a text today, and people won't like this. We're going to share later on. Kanji's going nowhere. So people I don't know where this Akanji is going has come from.
I think it's more of a case of people want it than.
Pep don't want him to go nowhere. Because Pep's idea is, I've got no one else who can play right back, left back, midfield, centre back like that, and I'm going to get for 14 million quid. I think people forget Akanji was not signed as a first team centre back. He was signed as a squad rotational player.
Yeah,
the one that will shock everyone is I keep an eye on Kushinoff at the moment.
Just
I'll
want to welcome
keep an eye on Abdikay Ushinov.
Yeah, no, I completely
not
agree.
to be sold, but I've had another.
Just want to welcome in Kevin's a new subscriber. Nice to have you in, mate. Hopefully see you around in the lives that we do. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I think you're right. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I worked it out the other day. With every player fit, we've got 10 players to play in those 3 positions up front. You know, you've got Haaland, you've got Mamouche, you've got Doku, you've got Savinho, you've got Foden, you've got technically you've still got Grealish. I mean, I don't think he stays, but as it stands, you've still got Grealish.
Well, it stands, you've got 32 players, 33 players.
You've got Oscar Bob. You know, you've got Echeverry. You've got Cherky. And I can't remember if I've said Mamouche or not, but whatever. There's 10 players that can only play in those 3 positions, maybe 4 if you include one of them in midfield as a 10. So that's 4 positions where you've got 10 players to try and fill those 4
and
positions.
You've still got McAtee, Grealish, Kyle Walker, Calvin Phillips, Wilson Esbrand all sat at home doing that at the moment.
Yeah.
They're not even there.
No. I to be honest, I think
players is a damn lot to try and figure it. Good luck to Viana. He's got his work cut out, by the way, coming in the next few weeks.
I think Wilson Esbrand's time at the club is done. He's had loan after loan after loan, season on season. And I think, you know, what's this, like 3 or 4 seasons in a row now that he's had loan spells?
Yeah, I think they'll all go. I think the one that's struggling with them and is Grealish.
I think Grealish. I think you'll struggle with Phillips. I think Phillips, you might just have to write his contract off.
I think Phillips going to end up down in the charity. It's like, but the trouble is, you always get that, don't you? Oh, Calvin Phillips, Leeds United. Well, Leeds United ain't going to pay 150 grand a week.
No. It might even be a case that we might have to subsidise that in the actual transfer fee for them to pay 150 grand a week.
It might. I think what City have done, Bevo, I'm going to be honest, I was thinking about this earlier. I think City have got ahead of the game. Because if you go back to next, this sounds weird when I'm saying this, because are we still in last season? Are we in this season? I don't even know where we frigging are now. Next summer, Bernardo's out of contract, Stones is out of contract, Gundo potentially, if he doesn't go now, he's out of contract. You are going to lose a load of players. So have they just bought ready for these players to go in a year's time? And you say to an Ushanov and a Victor or whatever, just be patient for a year. Be patient, ride the year out, get used to it all, and then then you're ready made in a year's time.
Yeah.
I don't know, because trouble is we're not privy to the combo, so I don't know what's been. Because right now, John Stones don't want to leave. And you can't make him leave. He's under contract. I heard someone say, stick him in the EDS. You can't. You can't just bench him. You can't just kick him to the EDS.
It's not even allowed.
Yeah. Rico Lewis is going to ask a question when he comes back.
Rico Lewis needs to be asking himself a question at the moment.
O'Reilly, does O'Reilly want to spend the season having 10 minutes a game? That's a question only he can ask. Because the problem is, they all say, I'm happy to do that. Until you're 3 months in, and then they're knocking on the door going, yeah, I'm not really that happy anymore.
The problem with it is we had an opportunity, right, to sell O'Reilly in the January just gone. And we decided to hold on to him. Was it the January or was it the summer that they put that Chelsea?
No, January. Chelsea offered, but we asked for the buyback and they wouldn't give it us, so he said no. I honestly think if Chelsea would have said yes to the buyback, I think O'Reilly would have gone in January.
Yeah,
I think O'Reilly would no longer be here. Luckily, he stayed, but the thing with O'Reilly is he's verbally agreed a contract, but it's not signed.
I think he has to stay now. I think he has to stay at City because our homegrown situation's not getting any better. If anything, it's looking like it's getting worse. It looks like we're going to be losing Grealish in the next few weeks. We could potentially be looking at losing John Stones in the next few weeks. We're getting very, very close to needing to just go and pay up a 70, 80 million quid for Livramento. Like it's getting to that point where
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure they end up doing Livramento. I don't think they do.
It's a tricky one because we physically cannot, under any circumstances, buy any more foreign players. Like if we do that, we're breaching rules. Like we're massively over capacity with foreign players to homegrown. So either we let foreign players leave or we buy homegrown. Now the problem with that is, I'm going to be honest, I don't think the homegrown options are that good. Like I don't. If we're buying homegrown players, I don't see those homegrown players being starters in our team.
No.
So then what you're doing is you're buying homegrown players to stick them on the bench, or to potentially not stick in the team at all. I
don't know. It's such a because the problem is, then I see Núñez do that again today.
Yeah. He was brilliant, by the way.
Are we that desperate on the right back?
I think a right back is definitely needed. If for nothing more, a bit more of a rotation option, because I wouldn't feel comfortable having Núñez playing against.
They're not going to spend 80 million on a rotational. That's the only thing, though.
No, I would see whoever we bring in as the starter and Nunes be the rotation.
I honestly think it'll be Livramento or bust. Otherwise, you're going down that road of that bag. I think you're then going into the desperation mode because, like you said, there's not many more out there. So if you don't get Livramento, I'd rather wait. I honestly believe we have enough cover at right back to cover right back for a year. I do. I do believe we're good enough to do that. And yeah, people will go, yeah, of course it's perfect to go and do it. But I just think to myself, if that means we can keep a cushion off, then I'd rather do that. I'm not comfortable with the idea of potentially loaning Gushinov out the door. Doesn't sit well with me, that one.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, you've got Nathan Aka, Akanja, Stones, Gavardio, Diaz, Gushinov, Victor Hayes. Somebody has to go, and it won't. And at the moment, it ain't John Stones or Akanja.
Yeah.
And Pep's already said Victor Hayes don't want to go. So this is where the rumours are Gushinov from America. It's from America. This the media teams in America. The rumours keep going on about Gushinov. Because he's the odd one at the minute who keeps getting left out of games.
Yeah, I just think I was watching Kusanov the other day in the last game, and I'm going to be honest, I can't say I was that impressed. He was okay, but he looked very sloppy for the first 20 minutes.
He's an old-fashioned defender, isn't he? He's a very old-fashioned.
Yeah, he is. I just
demand the ball a lot.
There was a few instances where there was just positionally he wasn't in the right places. Made some sloppy passes.
He's a young lad. Do you not think?
Not get on the head there. He looked
no, he does look. I agree. I agree, and I think sometimes is a red card waiting to happen in some of his challenges. But see, I like that though. I like the old fashioned, get in. But I know Pep will be like, no, we don't do that. You'll get sent off. But he hadn't played a lot for Lons. He wasn't like a 2-3 year veteran coming in. He's a young lad. And I think we forget sometimes how inexperienced Kushinoff was. But he does. It doesn't sit right with me spending 40 million quid and loaning him. It doesn't sit right with me, that battle. I think we are taking the piss a bit doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and we have loaned Juma Bar. Sorry, we've loaned Juma Bar out again. Eventually, he's going to want to come back. We just seem to have this array of riches now. It's in the defence where he's come from.
Yeah,
it's crazy when you actually look through the squad and the numbers, and that's without any EDS, by the way.
Yeah.
I think you can forget Jamal Simpson-Pouza, and I think that's why I think we can get rid of so many of our bigger names or longevity players on a free, because I think we end up selling a Jamal Simpson-Pouza for 20-30 million quid, or somebody else, a Kutu for 25 million quid, and that allows you to allow Bernardo out for free, Gundo out for free, or whatever. I think it allows you to do that. Kovacic, we don't. I feel like I'm just rolling. I keep thinking of a new name and going, yeah, we've not actually got it. Kovacic isn't out there.
No,
it's like it's crazy.
I think if Kovacic makes it back in time for the start of the season, I think he gets sold. I think whilst he's injured, you can't sell him.
I think Lucas makes a great point there, though. Arsenal did that for Sleepy, though, didn't they? They loaned him out, and now look at him as one of the best centre-backs in the world.
Yeah,
So that is an
Yeah, no.
example of take your time, come back.
Yeah,
I
because I'm
don't-
sure he was at Lille or somewhere like that for a few seasons.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
said, I get many want others to go, and I know
I
I know
I would
Akanji's public enemy number one at the moment. I don't know what the guy's done. I don't know whether he's upset someone or what.
I'd actually argue and say that I think Husanov's more ready-made than Vitor Hayes. I think if you were to put both of them side by side and say, right, one of them's getting loaned out, I think you're more likely to see Hayes get loaned out. I feel
Which one's
like
more a pet player though for you?
I think Husanov's. I think for different reasons to Hayes, but I think Husanov because I think he's more versatile than Hayes is. Like with Husanov, like I can see you can put him at centre back alongside Diaz and know that he'd have a relatively good game. Maybe a couple of mistakes, but overall he'd have a decent game. I think you can play him at right back, like they did against Real Madrid. He had Vinicius Junior in that game on lockdown. I thought when that and during that period, he was literally chucked in the deep end, and he was playing teams like Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool, Real Madrid twice, like just after signing, and he had moments where he was a bit sloppy, but overall, I feel like he handled himself really, really, really well, considering he can't speak English. And I just feel that he's more of a pet player because he's more versatile than Hayes is. I feel like with Vitor Hayes, you can play him as a centre back, and that's pretty much it. I think Pep originally wanted to bring him in because I'm sure that didn't they actually buy him initially to play him as a 6?
Yes. Yeah.
So they initially brought him in to play him as a 6, but then quickly learned that he wasn't ready to play the 6, or they needed him to play at centre back more than they did at 6. So, like now that Rodri's back, and we've also got Nico Gonzalez, and we've also got Gundogan that can play as a 6. Technically, Kovacic, if he comes back and continues to play with us, he can play as a 6. We've got enough players there that can play as a 6. I feel like now with Vitor Hayes, you can only really play him at centre back, whereas with Kushnov, you can play him at centre back and you can also play him at right back. So I just feel like he has more depth to his game than what Vitor Hayes has. So I think out of the two, I think Hayes is probably more likely to be loaned out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so I'm just going off what Pep said the other day. Pep really wants to keep him here.
I mean, who am I to question Pep? Like, if Pep wants to keep him, then by all means.
Listen, we can all say and we can demand this and demand that. At the end of the day, Pep don't want them to go. They're not going to go. I know everyone's. So someone like said, I was joking in the watch along. Someone said, well, apparently someone said Hugo Viana needs to tell Pep what to do. So who's the manager here? You know what I mean? It's like, I think the tea lady's next to tell Pep what to do in a minute. It's like everyone's telling Pep what to do now.
I do
Linden's telling him what to do. Viana's telling him what to do. Bloody Colo was telling him what to do.
I do think, though, that Viana has pushed back on Pep a little bit, and I agree with it. Pep said, "Oh, I'm not going to have a massive squad. If that happens, I'm going to leave." He's now got a massive squad, and it looks like he's the happiest he's ever been. Yeah. So I do feel like.
Yeah,
I do feel like sometimes Pep. I think Pep can play to the cameras a little bit sometimes, and I don't actually think he means what he says. Sometimes I think he just says it to try and spark.
He's already said he's up with the big squad. He said, "I feel for the players, though."
Yeah,
he said it was up to me. I said, "I'll go with it." He said, "The trouble is, I'm going to have 5 players knocking on my door going, why am I not playing? Because at the minute, Bevo, 5 players, 6 players are at home.
Yeah.
We've got the week off. And that's the bit I think Miana would not want, because you want to pay what would your boss want to pay you a load of wages when you sat on your backside? You're not even sat on your backside at the bench, you're sat on your backside in your garden.
I mean, technically, mate, I do get paid to sit on my backside.
Oh,
so...
yeah, I mean, we don't love that, you know what I mean? We're sat here now talking, but it's wild. It's honestly, it's very different, because for the last 3 years, we've had a small squad. And now we've gone to this, for the first time ever, opposition fans can now say we've got 2-3 teams. Yeah, say it now. We've got it. I'll back you up.
Yeah.
We've now got 3 11s. I'm like, this is crazy. The thing is, it's still June, isn't it? I keep forgetting it's 26th of June.
I know.
We're not even in July.
Right. I'm going to ask you a question now, because this is very, very split. Would you say that this Club World Cup is a part of the 24-25 season, or would you say it was a part of the 25-26 season?
It's officially classed as 24-25.
I know, but I don't agree with that, because they're playing in their
personally, for me, I class this as, people will not like this, pre-season into your 25.
I knew you'd say that.
I just do, because I just do. It's like a pre-season-y thing. And I know others will be, because I know in the Premier League, we're not going to make 10 changes every game. We're not going to be playing in 90-degree humidity every, I mean, that's the one good thing about these 2 a.m. kickoffs we've now rolled into. Humidity is going to be very different.
I don't want to see no more 2 a.m. kickoffs.
Oh, that's what we are now. That's the only bad thing about today, is we're going to roll to 2 a.m.s now.
And what, every game's 2 a.m.s?
I think the next 2 are the 2 a.m. ones. Because we're basically now going to be camped at Orlando. Because I know Ed was loving this, because he's like, right, because we're now, the next round is going to be at the Camping World again. And trust me, I've been at the Camping World at night, as you know, last season. Very different to what the Camping World is in the daytime in Orlando.
Well, weirdly, it chucked it down when you were there as well.
And that was that's the only thing.
I remember texting you when you were there, and I said to you, "What's happening?" You were like, "We're all stood inside."
That's what I mean. It's like, Jesus, 2 a.m. kickoff, more like it's going to be like 3:30, 4 a.m. kickoff. The way Orlando gets going with the, it's not even the rain; it's the lightning over there.
Yeah,
that's the problem, because it's fault lightning.
It was strange though, wasn't it? Like, as quickly as it started, it was done with in the matter of minutes.
I went from being I went from being soaking due to the rain to within an hour soaking because of the sweat. I was dry again, but then sweating it all back. And that's the problem. It's the humidity over there.
Yeah.
It just drains you, and you go, and it drains your breath, and it drains everything about you. It's like, I used to joke when I went to America. I'm going again in 2 years, and I was like, sitting there going, I make it, because I said you can always tell who's from the UK, because they walk around in the piss down rain in shorts and t-shirt, they just carry on like normal. Because it's like warm rain. It's not the cold wind rain; it's warm rain. That's it.
You could tell that before from watching the game. You see loads of people getting up and walking off, and you see loads of people still stood there. But the people that were stood there, it seemed to get louder.
You know what it's like? It's like being, you ever been in a sauna?
Yeah.
So when it rains over there, it's like being in a sauna, or in like a spa, like what are them things called? Not
I went to Africa probably about 8-9 years ago now, and for about 3 days straight it was on and off raining. I know exactly what you mean, because it's almost like it feels like
Hot tub.
you're standing
Like being in a
under
hot
an.
tub.
It actually feels like you're standing under a big shower.
Yeah. Steam
Like
room, that's it. You're either in a steam room or you're in a hot tub, and you're like, because everyone thinks, oh, rain. And you can tell because all the Americans go under the roofs, and the English are like, hey, dancing down on the ride.
Like, wait, stop it.
No, because we're used to like going, this ain't rain. Yeah, I mean, it rains, but it's warm rain. It's like having just a very hot shower. You just get on with it. Very weird. That's why, I mean, God knows what they're going to do with the World Cup, over there, being in Mexico and America, because there's going to be a lot of games postponed or delayed. Because that is going to be in July. Jeez, good luck. Because the thing is, don't realize that is hurricane season over there. It's hurricane season.
Yeah.
I'm
and
like,
the thing is,
crazy.
it will happen. It will happen. We know it will. It happens every year. Every year. You were there 2 years ago, and the same thing that happened tonight happened then. So
yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Literally 12 months ago, I was there. This time,
was it 12? Yeah, 12 months ago.
No, it wasn't. It was no. I was actually. It's about
2 years ago.
No, it was July. It was July last year. I was there, but
It was
it was boiling then.
Yeah,
it's like crazy.
It's crazy.
That's why I'm like sat there going, I know why they are struggling the first half, because I've been in it and seen it, and it's crazy. You don't realize. I mean, I can't walk around in it. Never mind run around in it on a bloody football pitch. Jesus.
There was at one point during that game where it just started and it was just coming down, and you put Rodri in any other situation and getting him to play that diag ball, he would find it to the feet every time. As soon as that happened, you tried to see him play that diag ball, and I've never seen it go so far away from a player's foot. It like went into row Z. And you could just tell that it was getting to the players. And at one point, I thought they were just going to stop it. But then within 2 minutes, it went from being absolutely chucking it down to glorious again. Yeah.
So everything just dries up, and then you see the steam coming up.
Yeah.
It's a very weird. Yeah, it is a very weird thing to be in. Especially if you're European and you're not from that area of the world, or you're not used to it. But I'm so happy about that. Like I say, good performance. Yeah, there was bits and bobs that were not brilliant. Edison, and I mean, the one thing that annoyed me tonight was we missed. The scary thing is we could have scored 8 or 9. Cherky missed a 1-on-1. Bernardo missed a 1-on-1. Haaland could have had a bloody hat trick. Foden missed a 1-on-1. We missed easier chances.
What do you think of that Haaland goal? Because that was diabolical, that wasn't it?
I'm not one of these. As long as it goes in, it goes in. I'm not.
I mean, it would have been harder to miss. So,
I mean, I get it, and I joked with someone earlier. I joked with Elliot earlier. I said, it was a typical Sean Goater goal, going off his left bollock and roll in. Sean Goater never scored a beauty of a goal, but and then Sean Goater gets 10 grand a week. He gets 800 grand a week. I get it, but I'm one of them of at least the going in. At least the going in. Thought Cherky's work rate was amazing.
He was again on the pitch for about 2 minutes, and he'd already megged the player.
Yeah, I mean, but saying that, I got more annoyed about the missing the 1-on-1 from 4 yards out with the keeper than I did about the nutmeg, because I'm like, but that's just football. Do
you know what? I don't even think it was a terrible shot. Like, he could have done better with it. Yeah.
No, but the keeper made some good saves. I was disappointed in Juventus tonight. I didn't think. For all the talk I heard of, everyone was scared of Juventus going into this game for some weird reason. But when I saw
Do
the
you know what?
Juventus lineup and I saw the City lineup, I thought, "Ooh, this is going to be interesting."
Do you know what though? Like I said to you on your show the other day, didn't I?
Yeah.
The first two games that we had, I didn't really pay too much attention to. Obviously, I watched them. You
Mhm.
know, we won. But the real test for us to compare where we were at last season, or should I
Will
say
be
this season,
Juventus. Yeah.
will
I get
be
that.
to compare where we were against Juventus in the Champions League to
Mm.
where we are against Juventus now. And we are miles apart, like miles apart from where we were. We lost the game against Juventus 2-0. We won tonight 5-2. It could have been a lot more. Overall, I'm really happy with the signings that we've made. Reinders looks like an absolute bargain. I feel like, to be honest,
yeah.
we need to at AC Milan and give him another 50 mil because that
Yeah.
guy.
Well, saying that with Ain't Nori, we spent 32 million quid on him. I'm like, I feel like we need to go and give Wolves another 20 million quid here.
Yeah. Those
Saying
two,
that,
you know,
Leon, the thing is, for me, one thing I did enjoy tonight, I thought someone's mentioned in the comments there. I thought Cherky and Foden, the link-up play between those two is already there.
Yeah,
They're
they're
looking for
crispy,
each
yeah.
other. And there was a lot, and I will say about Phil Foden, yeah, I am a bit biased because he's my favourite player. But anyone who wants to doubt Phil Foden, just one bad season does not make a bad player. And in the 3 games he's played, I have seen a very different Phil Foden. The guy's got bounce in his step. I don't mean to sound, not trying to be ironic here, but Foden's got a bit of pep in his step at the minute. He's smiling. He's smiling, and his movement, and he looks hungry, and he looks more mobile. He looks like he's lost a little bit of weight. He looks like the weight of the world's off his shoulders. And when you see that interview, the fishing one, when he talks about now, this is what I did know about.
Is that the one with the Everton fan Ryan or something?
Yeah. Now, the one thing was, as you know, I told you there was things going on. I knew about his brother. I was told, you shut up, do not say a word, you keep it stum.
Yeah.
And his mother needed a back. There was that, and he was dealing with a new diet that he had to deal with. There was a lot going on because the guy's a very private guy. He said it himself. I'm not, I think it let him affect him last season. Nobody knew his brother. No one knew his brother had severe autism.
Do you know what, as well?
He didn't announce it to the world.
The way that he was treated last year, not necessarily by our fans, but he did get a lot of stick off our fans. But, going to Old Trafford and them singing about his mum. Like, I'm sorry, he's a human being. He's a human being.
And by the way, your mum is desperate for a carer for her autistic son.
Yeah.
And you're having that being sang about your mum. You're damn right it's going to affect you. You're damn right. Yeah. And you know, when you look back at all these things, and because remember, Pep had a massive rant afterwards on that.
Yeah, he did. And rightfully so.
Maybe Pep knew what was going on in Foden's life at the time.
Oh, he would have done. Because
that's what I'm saying. We've got to. The one thing that I think we've got to learn from, and the sad thing is, we're doing it again. Luke said it on the watch along to me. We're doing it again. We're judging players already. We're 3 games into a pre-season or whatever we call it, and we're already Akanji out, Stones out, him out, and we're like, Christ almighty. Let's not go right back to where we were again.
Yeah.
Let's just chill. Let's be human beings again. I'm not saying we can't constructively criticize, because footballers are allowed to be constructively criticised. But let's not do this. Eat shit, get out of my football club.
Yeah.
Like, Christ almighty. Because I've said this a long time ago. Put Phil Foden on the market, Bevo. I can name you about 19 clubs that come after him. And they'll pay a lot of money.
Oh, definitely. I'm not... There was talk about 2 weeks ago of someone saying, "Oh, Arsenal could go in for Foden." Like, you what? Like, come on, let's behave. Like, Phil Foden's going nowhere. Like, I'm pretty sure he would rather retire than go to another club. I think Phil Foden is probably the the absolute staple of a one club man.
Yeah. Can you just pull up Hong's comment there? I've just got a question for him.
Yeah.
But I disagree with that completely.
I tell you what. Huang asked me a minute ago.
Well, here's one for you. Do you know Kanji's pass rate today?
I don't actually know.
94% pass rate.
What was it actually?
But what people are doing is they're looking at the goal because he played him onside, but no one talks about Cherky's miss, Foden's miss, Haaland's miss, Edison's stuff. This is what I mean. I don't know what it is. Akanji's done something to the fan base at the minute. I don't know whether it was the comment pre-season, but I'm going to say this straight. Anyone who's thinking Akanji's getting sold is going to get a massive wake-up call because he ain't going nowhere.
Huang, I've just followed you. Drop us a DM on Twitter, mate.
I agree, formidable. But then Cherky's one-on-one and Bernardo's one-on-one and Haaland's one-on-one could cost us against Liverpool as well. If Edison does that against Liverpool, but that's what I'm saying. Only everyone goes to Akanji. Edison fucked up more than Akanji today, but no one says that against it. It's Edison.
I do think that Akanji was at fault for playing Vlahovic onside for their second goal. But other than that, I thought he had a really good game.
He made one bad ball in the first half where he hit it to no one. But
there was one ball that he played right, and even though it didn't get to him, I think he played an over the top ball to Reinders, because that's the one thing that I'm really impressed with Reinders, by the way. He's making these runs.
Mm-hmm.
Like he played a ball over the top to Reinders, and it didn't quite come off. But that's not in his game. That's not part of his locker. But I will never criticize a player for trying to make that pass. Like never.
Yeah. If
you're looking like you're trying to make those passes, I would rather you tried that pass 10 times and get it once. Like I would rather that than you being a Bernardo Silva from last season and just playing backwards passes.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Yeah, like I say, I don't know because I'm just looking now, and Akanji gets 7 out of 10 in the MEN, which is the same as Ain't Nora. Edison gets a 6. I'm just again. I think I don't know. I think I'm going to be sure. I think there's a bit of an agenda on Akanji at the minute. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's. I think it's harsh. I think he's had a few pretty bad games, but I wouldn't say that tonight was one of them.
Well, do you know what makes me laugh on this? Everyone goes on last season. I know about a couple of people say Kanji made all these mistakes last season. Statistically, Gavardio made the same amount of mistakes.
Yeah, the only difference is with all the mistakes that Gvardiol made, he also compensated with doing a lot of good. Like he scored quite a lot of goals, whereas that's just not part of Akanji's game. I'm just going to bring in Huang. I am conscious that you're going to have to go in a minute, Martin.
Yeah, no, I've got 10 minutes. Don't worry, Matt.
I'm just going to bring Huang in. Just want to just going to be the mediator in this little debate. Hi, Huang. Nice to see you, mate.
Hey, yeah, there, gentlemen. How you doing? I'm on the bus, but I still want to go on anyway. How you doing, Martin? Martin, first of all, why do you look so good tonight, man? Bebo, I can say the same for you. You both look so dapper tonight. And me, I look absolute trash. Sorry about that. But first and foremost, I look absolute trash. But at the same time, I still look good. Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, I have some positives about tonight, but I can't help but talk about the negatives as well. But positives first. So we wanted to start on the positives. I think I feel for me, I feel like Doku's finally arrived at City for me personally, based on today's game. Well, today's game in America, but tonight here in the UK. I feel like he finally, you know, do you know like when they feel do you know when you feel like there's a game on certain players where you feel they finally arrived to the club, Bevo? Do you feel that like on certain players where you feel like they've arrived? Like when you feel like
Yeah.
Morris, when you feel like he finally arrived at City with his goal against Brighton, when you
Yeah.
feel like Rodri's arrived at City when probably in the 21-22 season, that's probably when I'll say he made was the breakthrough for me. And when I probably would say, like I'm just based on the example, that's how I felt about Doku tonight. That's when I felt, yeah, you finally arrived at City. You finally arrived. I would say,
I thought we had that moment in his first season when he played against Bournemouth, where he got that 5 G&A. Was it 5 G&A?
Yeah, it was 1 goal, 4 assists. Yes, I felt that as well. But I would say I'm talking about I'm talking about opposition. I'm talking about it did climb, but I would say we're talking about playing in a major tournament and playing against an elite team. I'm not. Of course, Juventus are not the Juventus of many years ago. But what I'm trying to say is like.
Do you not find, Wang, that it's not about the sort of game that he had today, but more the consistency? So for me, he can have a one-off fantastic game, but it's about maintaining the consistency. Yes. And you look at what he was doing, Belgium the other week, against Wales. He cropped up with a goal. The game the other night, he got himself a goal. Tonight, he's got himself a goal. I would rather him get a goal or assist every other game, just to have that level of consistency, rather than getting like 5 in one game and then nothing for about 6 weeks. Like, I would, and that goes the same with Haaland as well, because this is being way overly critical, but I've noticed the same sort of thing with Haaland, where he'll go and score 2, 3, 4 goals a game and then do nothing for a few weeks. I would much rather see Haaland get a goal or an assist every single game than go and get 3 or 4 goals in one game and then get nothing for 2, 3 weeks. Like, I'd rather see consistency over. Like, I couldn't care. I couldn't care less if Haaland got 50 goals or 30 goals in a season. Like, for me, like, that doesn't matter. I would rather see 30 goals of a goal every game than 50 goals where he scored 10 goals in 5 games and nothing for the rest of the season. Like, for me, it's about 100%. Consistency over actual stats.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one 100%. I agree with what you said about on consistency. I think I'll have to be fine. Of course, I think he's having a good tournament. He's having a fantastic tournament so far. I think I've always backed him anyway. I just think, of course, at times I have to be honest. I can't lie. I've been frustrated with him at times, but I feel like now he's starting to get into it. I feel like today's game was like, you've definitely arrived. I know a bit more, but I'm talking about this is against opposition like Juventus in a tournament like this where mistakes are minimum, the fourth quarter mistakes there. And I feel like, you've finally arrived. Let's just hope he can keep on this with the next game coming up in the round of 16 as well, which I'm looking forward to doing as well. And I feel like I said, I thought Aït-Nouri. I think, of course, we got to give credit to Aït-Nouri as well, because I probably would say without Aït-Nouri, I don't think be able to dock without the performance that he had. And I feel like Aït-Nouri was there to really be like the distraction to the Juventus fullbacks, if that makes sense. So basically, like the defense, the fullbacks can't focus on Joshua because they have to worry about Aït-Nouri bombing forward now, and they have to. It forces the fullback to make a decision. Okay, do I go with Aït-Nouri or do I go with Joshua? And
I tell you what, though, the guy can cross as well. Do you see the in the first half where he made that cross? I think it was only about 5 minutes into the game. He made that cross to Bernardo, and Bernardo should have scored. I tell you what, the guy can cross. I mean, I'd love to be honest with you. I'd love to see him taking corners because I think that guy can put a ball in.
Oh, well, I mean, watched him for years as well, and I thought like I thought he did, and I thought now he's got his big break with us now, and now I hope, let's just hope he can do it. I think he's going to be incredible for us going forward as well. And I think he wanted this move for so long, and I'm so happy to see him perform this well. Let's just hope he continue. I think he's definitely going to be a force to like. I think there's another player that I want to talk about as well. I want to talk about Tibiani Rangers tonight. I thought he was absolutely incredible, just absolutely bossing that midfield alongside Rodrigo. And I'm just, I feel like it was just more like plug and play. He just came in, fitted in massive glove straight away, and just kept and just like he's definitely the most transformative signing, as Norbert said on his video, and I agree with him on this one. The most transformative signing for us. He was probably exactly what we severely lacked last season in the midfield. And now I'm just very excited to see where he is. And of course, it's good to see Chirpy coming on, giving his little cameo as well. Foden coming on. I feel like Foden's finally getting his confidence back. I feel like this is just only my view on this, Trevor Martins, but I feel like he's put last season behind him now. And I'd like to think that he's sorted out whatever issues he had off the pitch. And I believe that once he's sorted out those issues off the pitch, you can see his on the pitch performances have gotten a lot better. I mean, you can't do it. I mean, we're all human beings here. I mean, like, you can't help but the fact that you get easily distracted by issues outside work. And of course, it's going to affect your performances inside work. It just happened to me. I'm pretty sure it's happened to all of us watching this as well. And you can clearly see last season, whatever's happened to him is clearly weighing down, clearly going through a lot. But now I can see him. He's much more happier. He's focused. He's rejuvenated. He's hungry. Looks like he's ready to help the team again going forward. And he's smiling again. That's more important. I feel like, and also the vibe.
That's what
I just wanted that from Foden. It's like I never once doubted Foden's ability. I just felt like he just needed to sort those issues outside the pitch in order for him to get so he can focus on his footing and be happy with it. And I'm glad to see that. That's the most important thing for Foden. And now he's ready to help the team again. And now he's like ready to like step up and really take a mantle as well. And of course, I think probably these other guys that I want to give credit to. I mean, they're not on the pitch, but I'll probably say the newest addition to Pep's coaching staff, Pep Limber's, Paulo Torres, and James French. I think they made Pep's job so simple, and you can see Pep being happy again, being focused, and you can see he's hungry again, Pep. And I just felt like, I'm not being disrespectful to the previous coaching staff, but I've got to tell him like it is about them. I just felt like they didn't help Pep at times, and I felt like he looked lost, and I felt like I just felt like Pep had to do everything by himself, and the coaching staff was just to guide him and help him and really, take the workload off him. But now with Linders, Toure, and French, now they're really taking the. Well, I mean, Pep is still the manager. I'm not trying to say that they're decision. More like they're really helping him, trying to make it to simplify himself each one. And you can see the vibe in the bench. You can see how Paulo Torres happy and excited, playing with Linders, and playing with French as well. And you can see the set pieces that made a difference. I don't know what James French has done on the training ground, but he's definitely improved a lot on the set pieces as well. And I think,
I'm just going to bring Martin in on that actually, because that's a really good point. What's the one thing that you've noticed, Martin, about the set pieces that it's weird because it's gone from being like a 1 or 2 out of 10 to almost like a 7 or 8 out of 10 in the matter of weeks. I feel like they've completely transformed the set pieces.
Yeah, I think it's just they're a bit more quicker. We have more focus around them. I think we're working on them as well in training, which is a massive thing. We're doing less short corner crap. That needs to stop. I don't like short corners. Get it in the mixer for me.
By the way, just on corners, I never want to see Bernardo Silva take another corner in my life.
Yeah, that was crap in the first half. Well, there's the point about the thing like I said earlier on. Because I'm can I ask one question? I need to know the Akanji stuff. Well, what is this Akanji stuff going on at the minute? I need to know.
I feel like mine. I'm just speaking it as a team. I just feel like Yes, I know about the 94% pass completion. I watched the game. I really did.
He also
But
won every header as well.
I just feel like for me, this is just my honest personal view, that I just feel like, especially, when it comes down to the fine margins, especially in major tournaments, I feel like he just has a mistake in him. And that's just how I feel about it. There's sometimes you know, I just feel nervous, like with it sometimes where one mistake and bang, we get a goal conceded against him. And I don't feel like, because I'm more comfortable with for me with Diaz and of course Gavardio. And of course, like for me, I feel like with Akanji is like,
Do you not think Gvardiol's got a mistake in him? Because I think for me, like I was watching him last season, and there was a couple of times where you can almost guarantee that at least once a game he's going to drop some kind of clanger. Like I think that the only difference with Gvardiol is he made up for it with what he was doing going forward. I think.
yeah, you're bang on, Bevo, on that one. And I feel like with Gavardio, he makes up the forward, but I feel like there's sometimes I just feel he gets burnt. I just feel like he's getting played burned out. I think that he gets burned out a lot. When you get burned out so much, you're probably going to make a mistake or two. And so that's why.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's my point. Look,
he needs
Gavardio
that
gets
for me.
burnt
Like,
out debate, and Akanji he's just crap. He's done. He's finished. And Akanji
I'm not saying finished. I'm saying
do you know how many minutes Akanji played last season, even despite being injured?
Wait, didn't he play over 3,000 minutes, mine?
Yeah, despite being injured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's always been. I mean, it's not noticeable in the team now. For me, it's like, I'm not too sure what we're going to do going forward. I don't know if we're going to go back three, back four. I'm not too sure, but I would love to. Look, I would love to see it. Okay. Martin? What do you know about Mr. Gundogan so far? I feel like, for me personally, I just feel like the writing's on the wall, and I feel like these Galatasaray links are just far too strong for me personally to ignore.
If it was up to Pep, he's keeping him.
Yeah.
But we'll say it's up to Gundo whether it
Yeah,
happens.
I was going to mention that, Martin, I think you banged on the drum about me this too many times. Remember, like you said to me about foreign players, I go over the limit on foreign players, and I think if I'm correct, isn't two foreign players that have to go in order to appeal to the squad for both the Premier League?
I mean, I can tell you now, at the moment, there's no defenders going out the door. Every defender is going to stay.
Even Hussanov as well.
Kushanov's the only one who's been mooted. He's the only one that's been mooted on a potential loan. Again, these are more murmurings coming out of the camp in America. I don't know how true it is, but I don't know why. I think it's because Stones, he's only got a year. No one's going to buy him with his injury record and he's homegrown. Akanji, people aren't going to like this. Pep loves. Pep knows he's not going to replace Akanji for 40 million quid who can play right back, left back, centre back, moving to midfield. The things like I said, the Akanji stuff is the Akanji stuff. I think my issue with Akanji is people are picking up on Akanji's errors, but they're ignoring blatant other errors by other players. It's like today, after the game, I've gone to the timeline and everyone's talking more about Akanji than they are Edison. And Edison made a far bigger bozo in that game than Akanji ever did in that game.
Oh yeah, I mean, can't like Martin. Like, isn't he supposed to be one of the best goalkeepers?
No, that's what I mean, and that's not me calling out. But like I said to you earlier, Babo, he's Cherky Mr. 1-on-1, Bernardo Mr. 1-on-1, Foden Mr. 1-on-1, Haaland Mr. 1-on-1 from 3 yards out. But everyone has gone bang to Akanji. I think it's them quotes before the Club World Cup that's annoyed everyone. I think that's what it is. I think that quote has done it for him. I don't know. I think it's just done it. I think it's just switched people off.
Because he mentioned something about wanting to take a break.
Just a quick one before we carry on. We've now officially hit 1.2k subs, so thank you for everyone that's subscribed. Really appreciate it. It really helps the channel. Also, we are 2 likes away from 50 likes, so if anyone hasn't liked, please do. It really helps again.
Yeah. Stop being type buggers and get like him.
And as I've just been saying that, I just want to pull up. We've had a super chat, so thank you very much to Simo Sups. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, mate. Great show, gents, and thanks to Bevo and Martin for an evening of entertainment. You are very, very welcome, mate. I'm not
entertaining you. Jesus.
We're very grateful for everyone who's in the chat and is making this channel possible. So thank you very much.
Because I have to go. You know what the scary thing is about Docker and Savino were amazing tonight. I'll give them both that. Scary thing is you got to get Cherky and Foden in this team. Yeah, we never talked about Oscar Bob even yet. Foden and Cherky are not sitting on a bench for the season. Tell you that now. Tell you that one for free. Foden and Cherky are not sitting on a bench. I don't know what Pep's going to do here moving forward. And this is the exciting part of it. It is, we've got so many keys to unlock so many locks now. It's unreal. And what I think this will show is players are going to have to perform when they play now. Because if you don't perform, you're going out.
Yeah. I was going to say, Savino, I wouldn't say Savino. He got 8 assists in the Premier League last season. I feel like he's just warming up, Martin. And I feel like, now he arrived as well.
No, like I said, it's not just a kanji, by the way. About it, someone read to that. Oh, Savino miskicked it. I'm like, it's like some people are just so against certain players at the minute. And I know why. It's because their players sat on the bench.
As well. I think, for me, yes, well performed as well. I'm looking forward to the last 16. Of course, it's going to be one of Madrid, Al Hilal, or Salzburg. It's going to be one of them 3 at the very, very least, even though we finished group winners. So
not Madrid. Not Madrid, please.
I'd take Madrid right now.
I'd take a Martin, but I just want to see a team that we've not played. I just want to.
About for boredom. I don't want to keep playing the same team over.
I don't
want to play Bayern anymore. I'm bored of Bayern.
Mate, you can guarantee as soon as the Champions League comes out, we'll end up playing them then. It's
We're probably going to play them all, guys. Anyway, we're probably going to play Madrid again. We're probably going to play Napoli, Bayern. We're probably going to play them all anyway. It's going to happen regardless, anyway.
You know when Benfica beat Bayern the other day 1-0?
Yeah, they did.
There wasn't a big old meltdown of, oh my God, Bayern are cracks. Just if you've noticed, I think, and I don't generally agree with Goldfish. I think he chats a lot of shit 99.9999% of the time. But the 0.0001% is I think you're seeing the European teams are treating it a bit different to the South American teams. If you look at the South American teams, they're wanting to fight you and double tackle you and snap you in half. They're really going for it.
Yeah.
The European teams are a bit like, no, I'm not playing any of that game.
Martin, all Brazilian teams have qualified for the next round. All Brazilian teams, Flamengo, Fluminense, Botafogo. And sorry, I'm trying to figure what's the 4th team. I'm just Palmeiras. Yeah, they all qualified for the next round. Look, they treat this like it's the last game of their lives. And I think no, they didn't actually. It's Inter and for goodness, who was? It was.
Do you know what's crazy, by the way?
Inter Monterrey. Yeah, sorry.
Did anyone see Leroy Sané still playing for Bayern, even though he signed for Galatasaray?
Yeah,
how was that? That is so weird when you know. And this is what I mean when people go, and they say, why is a Galatasaray player still playing Bayern Munich in this competition?
Yeah.
He's not even really there. He knows in 2 weeks' time he's off. He's gone to Turkey. He's been presented in a Galatasaray shirt, and he's out running the wings for Bayern Munich.
Yeah. Martin, Bev, I was going to ask you guys about Sané. Don't you think it's quite sad the way his career's gone, guys?
Yeah.
Don't you think it's quite sad?
It doesn't surprise me because maybe it's me. I've never been the biggest Leroy I thought he was good as a player. I thought he was very lazy as a player.
I think for
Very
me,
lazy
like,
as a player.
I think for me personally, it's like I just knew that it just didn't surprise me that he did not start in the 18-19 season as much as he wanted to. I just felt like his morale was so low when he did not get called up for Germany for the 2018 World Cup. And his morale so low, he struggled to lift himself up. And don't forget, I mean, I know he was linked with Bayern and all that, and he was convinced by his mother to come back home. I mean, I can't lie to you guys on this one. I just feel like it's not just Leroy Sané has played a big mass. I feel like not only just Leroy part has made the best part to see where his career is. I feel like his family's has got to take accountability for that as well, in my opinion. Because I feel like I know we all have to listen to our parents, of course, which I 100% agree with that. But at the end of the day, it's your football career, and you've got to do what you feel is best for you. And I feel like you think about this, like, I mean, the thing is, like, I like Sane. I mean, I like as a player, but I feel like, as a human being personally, I don't know him as a human being. That's not what I'm trying to say, you guys. I just feel like he just doesn't have the hunger and the drive to be at the very, very top. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
I just feel like he
Do
lacked
you know what
that.
did
And
it for me? And I need
Yeah.
to show him it. Did it for me?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I always remember the Leicester City game at home when we won the title.
Yeah.
And I remember him coming off the bench and just standing there with his hands on his hips on the halfway
Oh, yeah.
line. And I'm
Oh,
like, that ain't gonna rot no more, mate. And Pep looked at him, and because I used to sit in the Colin Bell before they moved it all to the Tunnel Club. And I just remember Pep looking at him and going, his exact words were, "Move your effing ass, or you're coming back off." Pep was fuming with him. He was like, "You don't stand on the halfway line with your hands on the hips, mate. You don't do
Did you
that."
used to
Wait a
meet
minute,
your,
Martin, you were
did you
there
used
live
to
at the
meet your
Leicester
mates
match,
after
and
games
you saw
then, or-
Sane live do that, and you saw him do that live. You
Hmm?
saw him live doing that. Flipping heck,
Before
man.
you
I mean,
moved to buy the Tunnel Club, did you used to meet your mates before the games then, after the games then, or did you stand them up then as well?
Not giving up on this.
Wait.
That was when you could get around the Etihad.
yeah.
I'm just going to wrap it up, but one
Yeah.
more from Total Football Talk. Chaps, who was your man of the match? I'll start with you, Martin.
Doku.
Huang, who was yours?
This is going to be the most underrated. It's probably going to be very underrated, but right? Listen, don't get me wrong. I love Doku. I mean, he's definitely deserved man of the match. But for me, Reinders, control.
I'd go with
He basically he held that midfield together. Like I said it before, he's exactly what we missed last season. And now he's he came in and revitalized the midfield. And now our midfield looks more formidable, and we're ready to compete as well. So guys, like I'm gonna go for Tijani Reinders. I think for me, like he's definitely gonna be like the most transformative signing of the season. And then, of course, Cherky, I'm gonna be excited to watch him. I think for me, like there's a lot more to come from Reinders, Cherky, Aitnoy this season. And I think Martin, he booted me on this one. He banging on the drum to me many times. He said to me, Huang, he's gonna be a top player. I was like, of course, I believe you. I need to see it more. And look, and I saw it. And Reinders, he completely held that midfield together against Juventus. And he's not, and don't forget, he's not a stranger to play against Juventus. He played against them in Milan, so it's not really a surprise that he knows how to play against them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm going to wrap it up now, guys, but Huang, thank you very much for coming on. Martin, thank you so much, mate, for coming and joining me on my first stream, taking over the show.
It was crap. It was no good. No, I've got to say, it's big up, Bebo. Absolutely amazing, mate. Well done hosting on your own.
Thank you very much, mate.
Listen, I know how scary it is.
Have you got any plans? Got anything in the pipeline? Anything coming up that you want to plug?
Yeah, I got post-match Sunday. I was going to do a show tomorrow, waffle show, but I'm at the hospital with my dad. So put that off. Saturday, I'm going out. And then Sunday, yeah, we'll do post-match in the evening. And then Monday, we've got loads. Basically, shows all the time now. This has basically become my full-time gig now. So there's going to be new shows. Yeah, look out for some very good new shows.
Yeah,
not just on the Mancunian way, but across all City platforms. Some regular shows with more regular people. New show start. New graphics, all sorts. We will have a break. I think so. Let everyone know we are going to have a break the end of July for a couple of weeks while we go and recharge. That'll be after the Club World Cup. No, because there will not be an open top bus parade if City win the Club World Cup. I know everyone's going to start demanding that. That honestly, I bet winning the final that comes up. Are we having a bus? No, there is no open top bus. As soon as this is done, they will all piss off on holiday. They'll go and have a well-earned week, 10 days, and then I'm intrigued to see where we fit the last couple of. Why not? Hanging the base. There'll be. I'm intrigued to see where we get, whether we've got how many couple of pre-seasons we're fitting. Because I've got a feeling I think it'd be nice if we do a couple of local teams.
I don't
want to see and a Berra.
Game. I want to see us after this Club World Cup. I don't even care if we've got knocked out next round. I want to see the players off on their holidays for the next 3 weeks.
Just go and have a damn. I want them to recharge and just.
Well, I've heard in the pipeline that after Chelsea have done this Club World Cup, apparently Chelsea are doing a full pre-season tour after that.
Jeez, because they're off their tits.
Like, that's ridiculous, mate.
They're off their tits.
I guarantee you look at Chelsea next season, if they do that and they don't give the players a break, I swear that they're not making top 8. Because I'm sorry, that's too much football. People need a break. Anyways, I know you've got to go.
They'll ever get one. got the World Cup next summer.
Oh, honestly, I know.
At the minute, they're going to be on 2 years, no break.
And they had the Euros last year, didn't they? Was it last year?
That's why I don't. Why I have a little bit of sympathy for Kanji, because I always look upon it as, like I said, Kanji, Rodri, and Diaz have all come out with the same statement in 12 months.
Yeah,
there's too much football. I know it's great for fans, but I also think fans get a bit stale. You look at one thing I will say is you look at the attendances in this Club World Cup. They're not great.
No.
I think fans need that break from football. I think they do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to be having a couple of weeks off over the summer.
I think to recharge.
I can't wait. I'm just going to have 2 weeks of. I'm not even going to look at the street.
But your own mental state. I think people have just got to recharge and just relax and I want to see Bernardo and Akanji and Haaland and all that. I want to see him on a bloody Lilo. Chill. Yeah. After the tournament, go and have a week. See ya.
Do you know what? I think that's why Pep has done what he's done over this Club World Cup by, taking them down to the beach for some yoga, and because I've not seen any other team. Like, granted that I don't look out for any other team, but you'd naturally just see it on Twitter. I've not seen any other team do what we've done. Like, you don't see Real Madrid sunning it up on the beach. Like, you don't see Chelsea sunning it up on the beach and having a kick around on playing some beach volleyball and stuff. I just feel like we're doing this right because we're using it as a holiday as well as actually doing some training as well. So I think that naturally the players are just going to enjoy it more. Anyways, I will wrap it up. Thank you again so much for coming.
Please smash those likes. Please share that around. Let's get them to 2K.
Amazing. And on that note, let's have a beach party. Thank you very much all. And see you next time.